Hello guys, and welcome to my rule video for my Pokémon Emerald Team Magma Challenge. Now this is a challenge that hasn't been done before on YouTube at all, so I'm going to explain the rules in case you want to try it for yourself. Now this was developed off of a challenge that PD Winner is doing right now. His is the Pokémon Team Rocket Challenge, but since I was doing Emerald, obviously I wasn't going to do Team Rocket, so I decided instead I'd do Team Magma, simply because, you know, I don't want to do it on Ruby either, because they're in the game, and yeah, okay. So it's on Pokemon Emerald I'm doing it. You could do it on Ruby or Sapphire if you really wanted to. They're pretty much the same game, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to get on with the rules now. As I've mentioned, it's preferably played on Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire or Emerald. Of course you could play it on other games, but it kind of takes the fun out because they're not in the region as well, sort of. Yeah. And rule 2 is, aside from your initial starter Pokemon, you are unable to capture and use any Pokemon that aren't of the following types: Dark, Ghost, Ground, Fire, and Poison types. Those are the 5 types I'm allowed. And here's where this challenge can take a bit of a turn, really. Through the use of a Gameshark code, you are able to use Pokemon outside of those types, if you capture them from another trainer. So you enter the Gameshark code that allows you to capture Pokemon from other trainers, and if you capture one successfully, you can use it. However, if that Pokemon is to faint, you must release it immediately. So in general, this run is a set type run combined with a Nuzlocke, sort of. And rule 4 is to do with how you complete the challenge. For example, with most Nuzlockes you complete it when you defeat the champion, really. But however, this is slightly different. Now with PD's Team Rocket Challenge, his challenge is complete once he has captured Red's Pikachu, which makes sense. My challenge, however, will be complete when I capture Groudon, because being Team Magma, that's sort of my goal. And that's one of the reasons I suggest you play it on Pokemon Emerald, because you can't get Groudon until after the Elite Four, and you know, kind of stretches the challenge out a bit. Whereas in Ruby you capture it before, you know, even the 7th or 8th gym leader. Can't remember which, but yeah, that's why I suggested you do it on Pokemon Emerald. There are also some extra optional rules you can add in if you want a bit more of a challenge. I'm not going to be adding any of these in myself, but feel free to do if you want to make it a bit harder. For example, number 1, you can feel free to add your own variant of whichever Nuzlocke rules you enjoy. You could add a normal Nuzlocke, you could try and do a Wedlock with this, maybe even an Egglock somehow. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but you could do. Or you could add certain restrictions on items, or Pokemon Centers, only allowing yourself 2 heals per Pokemon Center, or not allowing to use healing items during battle, or whatever, anything like that you can add if you really want to. Another rule you can add is that you're only allowed to leave an area once you've defeated every single trainer around you, or accessible trainer. So, you know, going onto a certain route, you're not allowed to leave that route until you've defeated all the trainers around you. So again, this is a bit more of a challenge, because, especially if you combine it with no healing items outside of a Pokemon Center or something, because you have to, you know, manage your health points, I suppose. So, you know, it could be challenging. I'm not going to add it though. Another rule you could add is to capture every single accessible Pokemon just for the glory of Team Magma and just stuff like that. Now, I'm not going to do this because I'm going to end it when I catch Groudon. And I don't feel Team Magma's too interested in Kyogre. I'm actually going to defeat Kyogre, I'm not going to catch it at all. And Rayquaza, you know, it's not helpful for Team Magma at all either, because it clears the weather conditions instead of creating more land. So, yeah, Regirock, Registeel, Regis, I may do, because just fun, but we'll have to see about the others, really. So, first off, we have the type restrictions. We're only allowed to use those 5 types: Poison, Ground, Fire, Ghost, and Dark types. Just to restrict us a bit, because Team Magma, you know, they're known for not having a huge range of Pokemon. They only really use Zubat line, Poochyena line, and then also the Numel line, which is the Fire Ground type, and then I think 1 or 2 of Pokemon, but apart from that they don't really use any Pokemon whatsoever. So it's just really a bit of a challenge. And then we have the Stealing Pokemon. Now it's not synonymous with Team Magma necessarily, but Team Magma do steal Pokemon every now and again. You remember the guy in the forest in Hone, who has his Shroomer stolen, I do believe, or tries to get it stolen. So, you know, you'd imagine they would try and steal Pokemon to help their cause. So that's what we're going to do. Especially for, obviously, surfing, because we're not using any Pokemon types that can learn Surf in these games. Well, yeah, mention that even though Barboach and Carvenhar are dark type and ground type respectively, I'm not allowed to catch them because they're water types, and that's against, you know, the Team Magma kind of regime, I suppose. I'm allowed to catch water types from other trainers because I'm going to need to be able to get over bodies of water, but I'm not going to be able to get a water type on my team permanently, let's say. Now, catching Pokemon wise from trainers, you can put a limit on how many you're allowed to catch in total. You could say, you know, 16, just for the gym leaders, I suppose. I'm not going to necessarily put a limit on what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to try and do it overly. I'm not going to enter a battle and just catch the Pokemon to end the battle. I'm going to theorize what Pokemon I'm going to need to add on to my team and catch them accordingly. So, you know, I'm not going to overuse the feature, but I'm going to use it enough for it to be decent. So guys, that's it for this rule video. The first episode of the Team Magma Challenge will be releasing tomorrow, a day after this video comes out, so you can all enjoy the lovely Team Magma Challenge, and hopefully, you know, you'll try it for yourself and watch the series as it progresses. Anyway guys, all that leaves me to do for now is say goodbye. Goodbye.